Hello folks and welcome back to another video. This time around we have gone back to Star Wars and we're going to be making Emperor Palpatine from Return of the Jedi. Now as you can see I have printed this guy out in 1/6 scale, so he's a decent size. He's all been cleaned up, he's not glued together, a couple of parts are glued together but nothing significant. Mostly it's just the chair, so just flip him around. You can see there's quite a big chair that he sat in. So the chair was actually three parts. So it was two side sections which I managed to just about fit on the printer, and a top section. There's also a round base underneath which I will need to reprint, as this one came out a little bit wonky. But other than that, he came out pretty well. Everything printed pretty much okay first time round. I did have a little bit of problem, so I've attached the body to the top half to the bottom half, and there was quite a large gap that ran across. So I've done my best to try and fill in that gap and sort of try and get the same texture. But it wasn't until you throw primer over it that you kind of see just how successful you were. It stands out a little bit. I'm hoping after paint it won't show quite so much. So I've painted, or primed I should say, the whole thing in a black from Halfords, just their basic primer range. It's a slightly satin black, which I think will be good for the chair, not so much for the figure, but of course we are going to paint over that. So, in case you're wondering where I got this file from, it is from, of course, SW3D, where I get pretty much all of my Star Wars prints from. I think you guys probably know who they are by now. Now, this one might have been one that went under the radar a little bit. He wasn't actually released as a statue in his own right. He is part of the diorama base for the Luke vs. Vader Return of the Jedi diorama. So that's the one you want to look out for if you want to get hold of this guy. Alright, let me break this guy down into his parts and we will get cracking with the painting. So, turning to the throne, the first thing I'm going to do is the largest part, which is the sort of padding, the cushioning that he sits on. So for that I'm going to take some Nagaroth Night, which is a nice deep purple. That is then followed up with an all-over shade using this purple Drakari Violet. Now, I haven't bothered to paint in, obviously, the middle part of the chair because that's going to be covered up once the Emperor is sat down. Now, taking some of this burgundy from Citadel, I'm going to do a dry brush across all that purple. So what I'm doing is just taking a stiff bristled brush, getting most of the paint off until I'm happy with how much is going to be left behind. Yep, that should be okay. And then it's just a case of going all over that purple in sort of circular motion, just trying to catch some of that texture. And you can see the texture starting to come through there. Okay, so it's time to start painting in some of these buttons. To start with, I'm going to use some of this corn red, which is a nice dark red. Now, I am using reference pictures from the PCS statue that Sideshow have recently released. So, according to those, it looks like there's some dark red in the background sort of panel in between the buttons. So I may have to tidy up with some black after I've done this. So this is a little bit tricky to get to. It is Caribou Crimson next, and this is just going to be a dark red shade just to darken down that red I've just applied. So it's just going to go all over just to bring out some of the details of the panels. Next up is some bold titanium white, and I'm just using this to paint in some of the buttons, which I want to come back later and paint in with other colours. This is just to help me paint over the black, essentially. I'm then going to take some of this yellow contrast paint, and I'm going to use this over the rectangle buttons. Then it is Mephiston red over the round buttons. And then taking the silver of your choice, it's just to mark in these top parts here, and then there's sort of a trim that goes around. Okay, so the final thing I have done is sprayed the entire thing with a nice satin varnish. Apart from, of course, the cushion in the middle, I blocked that off because obviously I want to keep that matte. And then when you guys weren't looking, I went ahead and reprinted the base. I printed it hollow, and I had some holes in the bottom which I have covered over with some of these felt pads. I've obviously sprayed the thing black, and I again have done a satin varnish over that. So now I can bring in the chair, I can line it all up, and there we go. We have a complete chair. Excellent. Okay, on to the figure next. Starting off with some dark warm grey mixed in with some Abaddon black. So it's about 2 parts grey to 1 part black. I've made myself a nice dark grey, practically sort of charcoal type colour, and this is going to be for the centre of the clothing, so the sort of the undercloak running through the middle. Next up is a dry brush using some of this Zomba grey. I'm going to do this all over that grey that I've just applied. I'm now going to take some of that original grey and just mix in 2 or 3 drops of this bold titanium white, just to give me a slightly lighter grey. And again, I'm going to do a second dry brush all over that grey again, just to slightly tone down the bluish grey, but I want to keep a little bit in there. So again, what's better than 1 dry brush is always 2. Next up is straightforward black. Now this is for all the outer cloak. Now obviously I've got a black primer down here already, so it's not going to make a huge difference. But the black primer is a little bit too shiny for my liking, so this will just tone it down to a nice matte finish. Using that dark warm grey once again, I'm going to do a dry brush over all the black cloak, and I'm going to focus mostly on the folds, just to try and bring a bit of brightness to where the creases are. Okay, it is on to the skin textures next. So to start with, we'll use some of this Rakarth flesh. So just paint this all over the face and the hands. Okay, so with that base layer of skin down, I'm going to now come in and sort of make this a little bit more pallid looking. So I'm going to make this up as I go along, so hopefully this will work. But what I think I'm going to start with is a shade of Drukhari Violets. This is a purple wash, and I have heavily watered this down because it is quite strong. And I'm just going to try and throw this all over the skin. Try not to let it pool too much. We don't want to have large, massive patches of purple, so I just try and work it in best I can. And we're going to do exactly the same thing with the hands. And after that first wash has dried, I'm going to repeat the process, this time using some blue wash, Drakenhof Nightshade. So again, thin down with a lot of water, and I'm just going to slap this on. Okay, and finally one last shade to throw on the skin is Reikland Flesh Shade, which is appropriately named, and again thin down with water, about 50-50. I'm just going to slap this over again, make sure it goes where I want it to and doesn't pool anywhere too much. Okay, so just a couple of final details on the face to finish this guy off. So I'm going to take a little bit of neutral grey and I'll just paint in the white of the eyes. Now this is going to be pretty much impossible for you to see on camera because of the cloak in the way, but trust me, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I have just jumped ahead a couple of steps. I have just simply added in a little bit of white to the teeth just to bring them out a bit more, and I have just gone underneath the lips just by adding in some Bugman's Glow to that original Rakarth flesh, which was the base colour right from the start. So the teeth are looking a little bit too pearly white, so what I'm going to do now is just add in some Seraphim Sepia, which will just yellow them down. So, to emulate the sort of Sith eyes that Palpatine has, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. So I don't know if you can see, but essentially what I've done is I've now just dotted in black pupils for each eye. And what I'm going to do is take some of this Cassandora yellow, and I'm just going to simply run this shade across the whole eye. So what this will do is yellow down the entire thing, because the white part of the eye will yellow down, and it should, I don't know if you can pick that up, there you go, give a bit of a spooky orangey red glow to the whole thing. And it's nice and simple, and the thing is I don't want to waste too much time because you're barely going to be able to see these eyes under this cloak. And here is just a slightly better angle so you can see what I did with those eyes. I'm quite pleased with that actually. That's quite a quick, nice little cheat. I'll remember to do that for any future Sith that I might come across. And then finally, I just used some technical hard coat, which is a gloss varnish, and I've used that over the brooch here. It's just drying as we speak, so once that is done, that'll be a nice shiny black, which will make that pop. Okay, so that is the entire model done, so I'm going to go off and glue this guy all together, and I'll come back and show you the finished result. And that is a wrap on the Emperor statue. Now, one other thing that I didn't mention is the statue also comes with the option of printing the walking stick. You just need to obviously make that a glossy black. Now, this doesn't actually connect onto anything, but you can just kind of place it by his side, like so. So overall, another really nice statue by SW3D. I think it's one that's pretty easy to paint. The only trickiness is to try and get a bit of variance in black. You don't want to make everything all the same colour. And the skin tones are actually quite easy to do if you kind of use my sort of washes method of just building up different layers. I think for me that the trickiest part of the model is actually the 3D printing and building part of it. Obviously the throne is quite large pieces. You want to make sure you don't have any gaps. There was a bit of gap filling on the back and around the sides, nothing too major, and of course there was a bit of a gap unfortunately across the cloaks. So I think that will just about wrap it up for this video, so thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos, well, I make videos like this every now and then, so please hit the notifications to make sure you don't miss out on my next creation. Take care everyone, and I'll see you next time.